President of Palanisamy and Associates for us. Are you ready? Ready?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am Minneapolis Convention Center. ஊர் எதுன்னு கேட்பாங்க தமிழ்ல. ஊர் எதுனா பிறந்த ஊர் தான் ஊர். அங்கே ஒரு 5 வருஷம் 1வது 2வது 3வது படிச்சீங்கன்னா அது ஊர். எங்க ஊர் வந்து ஒரு கோயில் பிரான்ச்சு காங்கிரஸ் தாராபுரம் இடையில ஒரு சின்ன கிராமம். தாராபுரம் ஹைஸ்கூல் படிச்சுட்டு சென்ட் ஜோசப்ஸ் காலேஜ் ஒரு வருஷம் பியூசி பண்ணிட்டு பிஎஸ்சி கோயம்புத்தூர் பண்ணிட்டு then I came here for my master's in engineering. 1969, moon landing took place. I thought this is the way science and technology is going to advance, so I got to be in the United States. That's my reason why I came to the United States. Okay? So that kind of tells who I am, what I am. To welcome you, Indura Namuru Tamil Nadu Sarah Solam Party Madam Party. Indura Patina, Minnesota, Nakota, celebrating on the Nakota, Dakota celebrating, Lakota celebrating. They can do it for Manasa Santa Monica. You can build the IT, Kenya Santa Monica, they are called Santa Monica. Your friends are in India. Kanyamanaka and diversity. So the human issue is the bigger issue. Right? And you can go put it in the IT and that's going to give you an answer how to not to diverse, right? You're going to solve that problem, all you IT guys. How to not to diverse your wife, write a software for that. I am for that. Okay? So the real life, what is the real life? Why you guys are here? Why I came here? What's going to happen in India? What's happening there? So human issue is part of everyday life. So I am saying what that means in Dakota language, hello, Saturday, in the wood okay? English, welcome to Minnesota, land of water. Tamil Vangasar in the wood one, right? So it's all good. So life is good. Entrepreneur. And the lady was doing a Wisconsin economics professor. I could get an entrepreneur, Tamil entrepreneur, and Tamil and Kubranga, either Kutan and entrepreneur. Originally, a businessman, not a businessman, but I'm an engineer. I'm not a businessman, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm an engineer. I'm supposed, my education, my training, my skill, all to solve the human problem in at least physical side, not in the mental side. So I am proud of being a Minnesotan for the last 48 years. If you look at it, I have buildings. Buildings, school, college, university, hospital, jails, so basically that's what it is. So I thank Minnesota for giving me an opportunity here. We go to a very stadium, Viking stadium, $1 billion stadium. So they gave me an opportunity to design everything in the biggest structure in Minnesota. So I didn't even know, somebody in my office told me, hey, do you know this, they put your name on the wall. I never heard the name in the photo. It looks like a little flower when you write it in. A lot of people don't know that's a name for a guy from village. It's on the wall of the stadium. They don't know that. But do they have to know that? No, I don't care if they know it. No, it really doesn't matter. So I like what I do for a living. It's not all about money. It's not about changing the world. Do your job every day. Take care of your family. Be good wherever you are. Entrepreneur, and I'm here. என் வயசுல யாரும் இருக்கீங்களா தெரியாது 69 முன்னாடி அந்த காலத்துல சினிமால பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஆந்திரப்ரனர்னா காலையில் யோசிச்சுருந்தேன் என்னடா சொல்றேங்க ஒரு சினிமாவில் ஒரு பாட்டு வந்து அது என்ன சினிமா ஞாபகம் இல்லை பட்டணம் தான் போகலாம் மடி பொம்பளை பணம் காசு தேடலாம் மடி டவுன் பக்கம் போக நீங்க மாப்பிள்ளை நீங்க I am living, I am doing fine. So that one thing came to me. அப்புறம் இந்த தமிழ் சொன்னாங்க திரையட ரோடியும் திரையும் கேட்டேன் எங்கேயோ போய் காசு சம்பாதி எப்படியோ போடாது. So entrepreneur is a basic nature. You want to get around, you want to do things. Not Tamilian, not white guy, not black guy, brown guy. All human beings want to make their lives better, do things better. This new IT things, you can tell a story and you can get in trouble telling more story. No, tell why I'm doing a lot of things and don't get another. Why the Tamil Veram, Kandukuan, no other than why I'm doing that. The Tatra Veram, you know, whatever they do. Okay? So stop putting too damn many things in there, please. And don't get in trouble. Okay, I'm proud again to be a Minnesotan. I'm proud to be part of the community. I do whatever opportunities out there in addition to what I do. I ran a bar on the north side of the town here. So it's an experiment for me. You always, life is a big lab. Every day you learn, every day you get data, every day you get research, some are good and some are not. That's an opportunity to provide for minority people, low-income people, to create jobs, whatever. It doesn't have to be all private India. என்னோட கதை வந்து எல்லாரும் மாதிரி வந்து எத்தனை நிமிஷம் பாருங்க நீங்க கால் காட்டிட்டே இருப்பீங்க ஒரு நிமிஷம் 2 நிமிஷம் ஓகே இந்த கதை சொல்றது எல்லாருக்கும் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் இருக்கும் ஓகே எனவே அதாவது வந்தப்போ ஒரு 3-4 வருஷம் எல்லாரும் மாதிரி நான் ஊருக்கு போகலாம் இங்கிருந்து என்ன பண்றது எவ்வளோ காசு சம்பாதிக்கிறது என்ன பண்றது ஊருக்கு போகலாம் ஸோ அதோட செல்வராஜன் ஒருத்தர் இருந்தார் தமிழ்நாட்டில் he was industrial south or something like that. So I wrote and said, okay, I want to come back to India, I want to do something. And I type 3 cement. Type 3 construction land. Type 3 cement, we have chemistry paint பண்ணுங்க எனக்கு தமிழ்வாதியா சொன்னாங்க உப்பு கடைக்கு வாங்க போனா அவங்க சார் சக்கரை இருக்கு they are not wanting me to do what I want to do, they wanted me to do what they want to do, so I didn't fit in what I can do. I always wanted to go back. Then I went to talk to another guy, another Mahalingam to bus இருக்காரு இங்க போட்டாரு பொள்ளாச்சியா. I went and saw him. He said, well, பழனிக்கும் உடுமல்பேட்டைக்கு நிறைய சல்ஃபர் இருக்கு ஜிப்சம் இருக்கு, let's do a sulfur factory or gypsum factory. But none of this fits who I am. It has to fit who I am. It's not the money. Money is to help me. I am not here to help money, right? So I live the way I want to live. It's a comfort, freedom, choice, family, love, affection, people, Native American, white guy, white guy here, might got bored probably. Hey, thanks for sitting 2 hours listening to this, not understanding anything. Just like me going to the temple, they pray for 5 hours in Sanskrit, I say what?
Oh, you can learn Tamil so much.
Well, you try. Money will make you learn anything. So you guys are trying. Alright, so that's what there. So I did everything at the airport here. That's the story. In the English, Cinderella stories. Every Cinderella needs a fairy godmother. Okay? You alone cannot accomplish anything. You owe to your parents, your relatives, your friends, uncles, aunts, teachers, alone. Everything is good. On the 64 or something like that, I was in some kind of Tamil competition. I went through So, Stanley High School, Money High School or something like that. This I'm talking about 64 things. And தாராளத்தில் பேச்சு போட்டி இருக்கவங்களாம் கோயம்புத்தூர் போகணும், அங்கே போய் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணணும். நான் கோயம்புத்தூர் போனது கிடையாது, எனக்கு 12 வயசு, பஸ்ஸே 2 தடவை தான் ஏறிட்டேன். மெட்ராஸுக்கு 3 தடவை தான் போயிருக்கேன். நான் மெட்ராஸ்னு சொல்ல நீங்கள் சென்னை. So I'm a village guy from Kodapur and ended in Minneapolis. When you ask about India, what do I say? I haven't traveled inside India. All I know is everybody in their village was poor. Some of your parents worked hard, sent you to the college. I lived there. I don't know about that. So when I went to the competition there, everybody in, I think Stanley High School or something like that. So everybody they give a topic and either talk for about 2 or 3 minutes. And they give you a topic instantly. You get a break in life all the time. So everybody needs a little break here and there. So when I looked at everybody had a shoe or a chirpal on it. I don't know that chirpal had a shoe. Oh, that bothered a little kid like me at age 18. I was more worried about that. So I aware about alright, so the Tamil in the Patla, it calms you down, right? So that helps. Instead of going, oh, kill that sucker. You don't want to say that. So you calm down. So I did that. I just got lucky. They talked about Galileo and gravitational force. I don't know what happened to me. I read a couple of books about gravitational force. I went up the stage, I did that. Everybody thought, I got selected and gone to visit. I got an opportunity, they sent me to all India radio station. Trichy, then I went that far. So at 18, 14 years, somebody helps you to motivate you. Tell you, you are good, you are doing this and that. And propose you, then I end up in Minneapolis. Learn a little bit about native Indian language, talk about history, and that goes on. So again, thank you all for coming to Minnesota. It's a great place to live. Good city. In the business of no, it's a capital intensive business. Tomorrow, convention center, $500 million. You need a responsible guy who knows what he's doing, keep the injuries up, people getting accident, keep them on schedule, keep them on budget. Now in the business, they can sue you for 17 years. I think the investigation period, then dispute period, then lawsuits. They can sue me for 10 years. Say I retire next year, I have to buy a 10 coverage for me. What that means is they can sue me, it doesn't matter where I go. Because I'm personally liable to what I sign my name on a piece of paper or a drawing. So, another exam because I was a US citizen. I can go in front of a court, take a oath in front of a judge. I'm going to be honorable US good citizen. Please allow me to write a PE license exam. And I did that. So, it has been a good experience. Life has been good. I see all of you guys. Looks to me it's a different world than I came. What's going on now? What it's going to be 50 years down the road. The other thing I tell you is, hey, don't make it like Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Singapore, fine. World is better. People are less divided. Still a lot of problem in this world. But worry about your kids, second generation kids, what they're going to do. Yes, you're all doing fine. They're little kids. Motivate them, make them understand who you guys are, what you are here, between white guy and brown guy and Trump guy, Obama guy, whatever it is. Life is life. Human beings are ordinary. Let's not make this world more miserable than it is, putting too many things on this screen and everybody going crazy out there. Just know before you put in what you are putting in. Security is not for the government, not kill you. Security is to your mind. And a father said, I said, okay, you either பண்ணாலும் சரி பாக்கெட்ல வச்சிருக்காத யாராவது எடுத்து பண்ணலாம். அப்ப எங்க வைக்கணும்? இதுக்குள்ள போட்டுருங்க. இதுக்குள்ள போட்டா நீ ஒருத்தனா கொடுக்க முடியும், வேற ஒருத்தரால எடுக்க முடியாது. உனக்கு வேணுங்கிறப்ப நீ கொடுக்கலாம், வேண்டாதப்ப நீ வச்சுக்கலாம். This man was 4 years குடிச்சிட்டு 4 ஏக்கர் buy பண்ணாரு. He gave me a great little thing. எங்க அம்மா வந்து உலகத்துல போய் நெல் குத்துவாங்க. குத்துறாங்கன்னா அந்த அது உழுந்துரும். குருவி வந்துட்டீங்க, காக்கா வந்துட்டீங்க. காக்கா வந்தா குருவி ஓடிடும், குருவி வேண்டாம். அம்மா சொல்லுவாங்க, நீ எப்பவுமே குருவியாக இருப்பேன்னு சொன்னேன். ஒரு காக்கா வந்து அதோட தண்ணி போயிட்டு நீ எப்பவும் சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருக்க. See, these are all little things in life that goes on. But that's what life is about. So get your kids. அதுதான் நீங்க போய் நெல் வாங்கிட்டு இருக்காங்க நாய். You can't do that. That doesn't work. But get your kids understand this world who you are. What it is. My son went to Armstrong High School here. உங்க 13 பேர் தான் தமிழ் பேசுறது இல்லை. 9 பேர் வெளியில் போயிட்டாங்க, 4 பேர் செத்து போயிட்டாங்க, 4 பேர் தான் எங்கள் ஊரில் என்ன செத்து. நான் வந்த பேர் தான். My son went to Armstrong High School. Mike, you know where Armstrong High School is? This side of town. And they wanted him to go on the stage and say why he came to the United States. He was a like 9-10-year-old kid, maybe 11. He told the story when he became 18. He never told me. So anybody raising little kids, please know. He never said that. Then one day, then I found out, they wanted him to get on the stage and wanted to explain why he came to the United States. He kept telling his teacher he never came to the United States because he was born here. And they didn't believe him because in those days he was the only kid in school. So they forced him to get on the stage and say why he came to the United States. He got up there and said, my teacher forced me to say this, I didn't come here. So, the truth always wins. You are free when you are free here. Money doesn't give you the freedom. Yes, you want to keep things here like my father said. Keep it for yourself. Give it out when you need to give it out. When you need to give, don't give it up, lock it up. Anybody thinking about construction, it's a great thing to do. Destruction is bad. C comes before D, I always say. Then I said, what do you do? I said, you are AC or DC. What is that? I say, after computer, before computer. Okay? Then I asked him, who do you all work for? I say, I work for all my sons. I make a joke around the town. Who are your sons? I said, they are Erickson, Anderson, Christiansen, Donaldson, Peterson, Martinson. How many sons you have? I think everybody in this town is a son. I work for all my sons. I'm glad my sons are letting me work for them. Okay? I enjoyed you guys. If you have any questions, you can me. Life is good. I enjoyed building a temple here. It's not a religious place. The reason I did that, there's thousands of guys here need a place to worship. I built the steps myself. I go there 11 o'clock, I cut each stone, I laid the stone myself. I got 864 stones there. If you are an engineer, you should know how to build it, how to break it down, how the materials behave, know all your formulas, everything else you will know. You can be in your bookworm. When I'm building it, there's another thing, there was a great experiment I learned about India by building the temple here. When I'm building the steps in the night, once in a while somebody will come and tap on my shoulder. Hey, you are working very hard. I will say, yes sir, I will work when I finish the steps until I finish. They will say, oh, when are you going back? I said, as soon as I finish the steps, some more work, I might go back. Then they will say, you talk English? Yes sir, I learned English. Where did you learn English? I said, building temple, you know. I learned about it. Then they will give me $1. I said, oh, this guy's cheap. He might have come from India last month. So I built all the steps, built the temple. It's a big place. It's the first speaker here, I forgot the guy's name here, who was here. He said the temples here are not the same as in India. It's not true. First largest temple in the United States is in Minneapolis. We have Silpis come from India. They built. Can you complete your speech in 2 minutes? I tell you what, you can always be liberal. Everybody else talk more. I'm just going to shut up right now. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Thank you very much. And again, in native Indian language, Piramaya. That's Dakota say, thank you. English, thank you very much. In Tamil, Nandri. God bless you all. Thank you.
Can I call Mr. Rajan Natarajan or Vish Vishwanathan? Can you come? Entrepreneur Vish Vishwanathan. A small moment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Then please welcome Blaze Garden to introduce Aishari K. Ganesh. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's a real privilege and pride for me to introduce a very humble and a very modest and a very learned, fine gentleman from Chennai, Dr. Aishari Ganesh, the founder chancellor of the Wales University, and he is a very hard-working person. He struggled a lot in his younger days, which inspired him to start an educational institution. And with his hard work, he has today created a very large university, and about 25,000 students are studying in his university. He is an educationalist, and not only being an educationalist, he's got many accolades to support his success. He supports sports and also arts and culture. And he is one fine gentleman who is the only person to support about 200 actors and actresses who have been really suffering and who are under the poverty line. And he's the only person who thought about it, and he's supporting 200 people by giving them 1,000 rupees every month for the last 15 years. And apparently, today he is also a film producer. He's already produced 2 successful movies, and he's got 5 movies on the pipeline. And he has also acquired a large film production company. And charity goes with him, and is the only person who has built a hospice and is taking care of 100 patients. And he's supporting that all by himself. Dear friends, please welcome Dr. Aishari Ganesh.
A very good morning to everyone here.
Transportation State of Maryland, Pradeep and Yoganathan, co-founder and director of Tama Group of Canada, Mr. Max Shankar, Group CEO, MCM Holding Limited, and Sumati Srinivas, CEO of the Delight Group, and Venki would be the moderator. So it's an interesting panel. Like here we have people from 5 different countries. Aziza from Singapore, Dr. Rajan Natarajan from US, Pradeep and Yoganathan from Canada, Max Shankar from Malaysia, and Sumati Srinivas from India. So it's 5 different panelists from 5 different countries. Over to Vicky, and we're running short of time. Hopefully we complete by 11:45.
We request all of you to please watch this video before. Thank you.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana. Uganda, Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone. Nigeria, Chad, and Liberia, Egypt, and Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mallorca, Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, Pennsylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Malta, and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan.
What is the special about this video? They will tell us?
All right. So we are in the last session before lunch, and my name is Venkatesh Sadagopan. I go by Venki. I'm from New Jersey. I've been in and out of entrepreneurism. I started a business, ran it for a few years, exited, and now I work for a company called Zoniant Corporation, which is based out of Sunnyvale. And I'm really happy to be here and be a moderator for this event. We will try to move it along as fast as we can. I know we are tracking a little late. So if you look at the TEFCON logo, it's the depiction of a bridge. And many people who know Chennai know the origins. There is a bridge called the Napier Bridge in Madras, and we took inspiration from that. It actually connected two little hamlets called Chennaipattnam and Madrasapatnam, right at the mouth of the city where the port was. And Napier Bridge connected these two little hamlets, and then it became the big city of Madras, and then renamed as Chennai. So last year at TEFCON in New Jersey, Purple Patch designed this logo. Karthik came up with this beautiful logo, TEFCON, with the Indian flag colors. And I see that it's going to go on for a long time. TEFCON's come a long way. So this panel, and it's so appropriate, it's called Bridges, How Tamil Entrepreneurs Succeed Across the Globe. And we've got participants in this panel from different countries. From the Far East, we've got Singapore, Malaysia, and then India, Canada, and the US. So it's very interesting. Really quickly introducing the panelists today, and then I'll come to what kind of questions we're going to ask them. We have Dr. H.C. Aziza Jalaluddin, co-founder of Shine Next Wave Limited. She's from Singapore. She is a relationship and alignment mentor. She's the founder of Go Global Program, alumni of Miracles of Capital Network, and alumni and ambassador of Accelerated Business Schools. So a housewife and incubator in the training and mentoring space, Aziza specializes in global business connections and funding. Her parents are from Kanyakumari. Aziza was born and brought up in Singapore and was educated in Chinese. So she's a linguist. She can speak 9 Mandarin, Tamil, Malay, and English. She's won over 10 international certifications and awards. So the next participant is Max Shankar, an adjunct professor, founder and group CEO of MCM, a global investment advisory firm headquartered in Malaysia. He's also founder of Property Investment Lifecycle. He's the first Malaysian to receive the Midas Touch Asia Award from none other than Kofi Annan, ex-Secretary General of the United Nations. Then we have Sumati Srinivas. She's a social entrepreneur, CEO and founder of Twilight Group. She's the editor-in-chief of V Magazine, managing director of Race Publication, and managing trustee of Soulmates Foundation. She's been working for the upliftment of women, actually from being a homemaker to entrepreneurship for over a decade, through her popular reality show, Mrs. Homemaker, a women's empowerment program. So that's Sumati Srinivas. Then we have Pradeepan Yoganathan, co-founder and director of Tamor Group of Canada. Tamor is headquartered in the Greater Toronto area. It has interests in gold, construction, and technology for money remittance and healthcare. Today I hope he will be able to share some insight about the technology side of his money remittance business. And then coming to our local hero, Dr. Rajan Natarajan. So he's the commissioner of Maryland Transportation Commission, and he's also the former Deputy Secretary of State for Maryland. So Dr. Rajan Natarajan hails from a small village in Pudukkottai district. He immigrated to the United States in 1989 to pursue his postdoctoral research in biotechnology at the Michigan State University. He acquired his postdoctoral fellowship and later his MBA from Eli Broad Business School. He was an eminent biotechnologist, scientist for more than 10 years, and then he's become a technology innovator and an entrepreneur. So Dr. Rajan's zeal for public service created a spark for him in American politics. In the year 2000, he's been actively involved in both American politics as well as the business sector for more than 15 years. He was in 2011 appointed by the governor of Maryland as the Deputy Secretary of State. It was a historic appointment of sorts, since he is the first Indian-born Tamil American to hold such a high position in any state in the United States. In appreciation of Dr. Natarajan's amazing public service and his leadership in promoting public-private partnership, Governor Martin O'Malley reappointed Dr. Natarajan as the Commissioner of Transportation for Maryland in 2015. So at present, he's also serving on the Board of Directors of Maryland Chamber of Commerce, University of Maryland Board of Visitors, and Maryland Cyber Security Council. So there's just a lot I can go on about Dr. Natarajan and his profile, but I'll just keep it crisp. He holds a PhD, 2 master's degrees in biosciences from the University of Madras, India, and an MBA from Michigan State University, a US patent, and 50 research publications. He's delivered more than 110 keynote speeches and remarks, and over 50 television interviews. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for this eminent panel. It's a fantastic panel, and I'm so proud to be here moderating this panel. So, the questions. Because of time, I'm not going to go, one question after another. I'm going to place the 4 questions I have for them, and then they're going to take 5 minutes each and talk about it. The first question is, when did you start your business, and what was your motivation to get started? The next would be, how did you find the courage to enter into entrepreneurship? Was there any government regulations or any SOPs that really helped you jump into it? Was there any social pressure or social motivation that aided your entry into entrepreneurship? And what is your vision for the future? How do you plan to contribute to the growth of entrepreneurship among global Tamils? So this is the brief we had given them at large, and they're all prepared to speak about it. So over to I'm going to start with the person from the Far East, Dr. Aziza Jalaluddin, first, please.
Okay. எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். வணக்கம் சொல்ல பதில் சொல்லுங்களா? Okay, thank you so much, and it's a real honor and privilege to be part of this amazing people. நான் தமிழும் ஆங்கிலமும் கலந்து பேசுறேன், so in case my Tamil is not that fantastic, pardon me. So இந்த கேள்வி வந்து நீங்க ஒரு ஆர்டர் கொடுத்துருந்தீங்க, நான் கொஞ்சம் மாத்தி யோசிக்கிறேன். Okay, so but I have to say that when I started my journey as a housewife first, and it all started off by just being at home with my 3 kids, just looking after them. And there came a point in time when I asked myself, is that what I'm supposed to be doing, just that? Knowing that I'm born, in Singapore with Chinese education, it felt like I was underutilizing my human spirit. How many of you relate to that? Underutilizing human spirit. So that's when I started exploring more about who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing in my life. It was a huge blessing that you heard just now, the Accelerated Business School. It's actually from USA. How many of you know of the Accelerated Business School? Thank you. And I see one hand. Great. It's actually from California, and they run a program called Money and You, and it's been around since 1978. So I attended it in Chinese language in Singapore. And because at the time I was moving and so in Singapore the Chinese language. Being in that room, I actually was the only Indian in 99 other Chinese people. Right? So I was sitting there asking myself, this kept coming up for me. So I keep asking myself, why am I amidst all these non-Chinese Chinese people? What am I supposed to be doing for my community, for my world? So again, the journey. That was in 2002, and since then I have been into entrepreneurial. I saw the gap, the social need. I about knowledge economy. How many of us have recognized that it's now transformation economy? If you are going to just focus on knowledge economy and experience economy, right now it's about transformation economy in business. So under gap na paathen nammaloda makkal mooliyama eppadi ellarum orunginaichu oru transformation uruvakka mudiyum adu mooliyama da naanga neriya vela senjittu irukom, basically from Singapore and connecting with Indian entrepreneurs around the globe. So I really want to thank TEFCON for initiating this bridge and for me to be here. So in my vision, in our Shine vision, we use the word go global. So it's about going global, staying local. Is that exciting? So we all go global, stay local, and right now our mission is to empower 100,000 entrepreneurs around the world. And can you imagine 100,000 Tamil entrepreneurs coming together? Do a data analytics around it. What can you do with them? That's our vision. We have leveraged a lot on technology, and we really put forth, and we have been building that since 2002. Thank you so much.
The next is, I'm going to give it to Max. We're coming from east all the way to the west, so we go Max and then Sumati and then...
I wish I born in the US as well. Welcome. My name is Max Shankar from Malaysia. So to avoid any misunderstanding, I would like to speak in English. Alright. Okay. I was very what do you call it? First of all, thank you, TEFCON, for giving the opportunity to come here as a Tamil entrepreneur. Because I'm a little bit of a lost child. I'm born in a very interesting family. My father is Indian, my mom is Chinese. So the rich dad and poor dad, they're two different sides of school, right? And I'm glad that I learned a lot of things about the Chinese cultures and also the Tamil cultures. So today, when doctor invited me, I say yes. If I want to do something for Tamil entrepreneurs, I'm more than happy. Right? Although we have to take like 30 hours flight come here. So basically, entrepreneurship is something in my blood. When graduate, I was so lucky. First class honor, given opportunity, 3 times of what the peer are getting. But because of one book, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, what you really want to achieve in your life. So I said, heck with all these working class and all that. I said, I want a full-time in business. I tell my mother, give me 1 year to prove that my decision is right. If I fail, it's okay. I can go back to the working, right, for the next 30 years. But because of one business, into this network marketing. That's where I learned about the soft skill and also the global. The world becomes so small today, by virtue of a phone call, you can connect anyone in the world, right? So that's how I started the whole entrepreneurship. And when we started the whole entrepreneurship, right, we noticed one thing: there's no helping hand. There's no one that guides us, especially when we come from a country that we are minority, right? So there's no equal opportunity or some government incentive that was offered. So everything is on your own feet. So that's how also learn to be independent, learn to be strong, and of course by going all these global, one thing that we notice is that a lot of times when we invest in overseas, we thought we need to have a lot of funds. So then we re-engineered the whole thing is how you can invest in overseas with as little as $10,000 US. So that's how we create a boom in Malaysia. We bring up a lot of Malaysian investors, invest into many countries, almost 10 countries, into property development. Right? And a lot of people, they never thought at all. By having a $10,000, I can invest in so many countries, I can capital grow my capitals, right, to become a multi-millionaire or whatever. Then eventually we also see that there's a huge wave on this IPO investment. So we also started to invest into a lot of IPOs and all that. But what I really want to say is that although we invested in many industries, property is our core business, and also intellectual properties, especially when we see there are a lot of talents, there are a lot of things about them, but there's no gateway or there's no person or entity that see all these benefits or the advantage in this person. Right? That's why we join in all these NGO, we see some great people, great talents. It's just that there's no one helping them, giving them the pathway to become successful in their life. So we start also one initiative, it's a young entrepreneurship development program. So we go into many universities in Malaysia and in Southeast Asia to give talk about this entrepreneurship. Right? So that's why we see a lot of great potential with them. All this Gen Y, I'm lucky that I'm also considered as a Gen Y. Right? So this is what we see, that entrepreneurship among the youngs, right, is growing. It's just that there's sometimes the lack of people who see the talents with them. Right? Unlike US, we see that a lot of platform for growing all these talents. So we hope that by having this collaboration between the Tamil entrepreneurs in the US and also in Southeast Asia, see how we can create a bridge that we can link together the talents in Southeast Asia or talents in America, that we can cross-border, and we can see what opportunity we can create, the value that we want to add on to a human. So this is what our intention to come here as well. All right, thank you.
Great, thank you, Max. Okay, so next we're going to Sunati, who's an entrepreneur for 10 years now, I guess, from being a housewife to when we hear from you, Sunati.
வணக்கம். இங்குள்ள அனைத்து தமிழ் மக்களுக்கும் என்னுடைய வணக்கத்தை கூறிக்கொண்டு என்னை அழைத்தமைக்கு நன்றி கூறிக்கொண்டு இந்த உரையை ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். ஒரு ஆண்டர்பிரனர் அப்படிங்கும் போது இட்ஸ் a matter of attitude. அந்த ஆட்டிடியூட்குள்ள தான் ஒரு ஆண்டர்பிரனர்ஷிப் வந்து மஷ்ரூம் ஆகி ப்ளூம் ஆகி it blossoms. ஸோ அப்படி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 2 பேர் பேசிக்கிட்டாங்க. அதில் ஒருத்தர் சொன்னார், erasers are for those who make mistakes. அடுத்தவர் சொன்னார், erasers are for those who know to correct their mistakes. So the attitude matters there. So இப்படிப்பட்ட ஒரு entrepreneurship அப்படிங்கும் போது நான் வளர்ந்த வளர்ப்பில் வந்து ஒரு life is always a graph of up and downs. So my graph was very high in the earlier days, and going to work was a crime. That was the environment in which I grew. But life is always a graph, so there was a small coming down in the graph where, making use of the education which was given to me and the way we were brought up to explore and exploit the world, I had to come back into the entrepreneurship skills, and I chose media. And I'm not a professional by media, it is only a learned professionalism. So that is where I'm into media today. I'll be having my entrepreneurial journey later, post-lunch, so I will talk about that later. And here it is, mostly I want to tell that entrepreneurship is not something which we have to really fear about or worry about or anything like that. It is also like a professional. That's the only thing, you're using your brains and bronze more than what you work. When you're working, you have some time for yourself to rest or to relax. The major advantage of working is that you can take off with some reason. But for an entrepreneur, 24/7, you have to be on the roll, on the top level. So that is where the difference comes between an entrepreneur and an employee. No doubt that there is equal responsibility for either of them for the upcoming of the organization. And secondly is that, the question what you threw, whether the government pressure or nothing. Basically, I believe that challenges are meant to be as a part of an entrepreneur. So why do we differentiate government? Take that also as a challenge what the government gives to us, because we cannot expect everybody around us to be to our thought level. I think if you're expecting that, don't become an entrepreneur. If you're becoming an entrepreneur, always be open to the big bags and always be open to the challenges. That should be something which is there. It should be within you always, so that any changes that come to you, you will take it as a passing cloud, not worry about it, and then sit about it. I don't believe in anybody sitting and just thinking about the problem. Get into action, because action is something where you go nearer to the problem and come away from the problem as soon as possible. And regarding to what I have, my forethought with the entrepreneurs is that I'm coming up with one project, which is the 1000 G Vowels project in 2018, which is 1000 G Vowels is Voice of Women Entrepreneurs Leadership Summit in India, in Chennai. And that summit is going to have 1000 women entrepreneurs, global women entrepreneurs in one platform, and that is going to create history in Chennai. And I dedicate that to every woman who is here, not only in India, in Chennai, globally every woman there, because it is for the women that I am doing it, this particular project, and I seek all your wishes for that. And more about this will come another afternoon. And this is the reason why I came up with this is simple, because I was a housewife, a homemaker, like how you're sitting there. I was sitting there once upon a time with all the cold feet and cold fingers and hands. But today I'm able to talk everywhere, and luckily I had an opportunity to visit the British Parliament last year to talk about media and women entrepreneurship there. And that's why I've become the United Kingdom Women Network, the Vice Chairwoman for India today. And we are working a lot with the London, and next year they are also going to be a part of what I am going to do. And I'm also getting a lot of encouragement from Singapore and from Malaysia and from other countries. So I hope to see you all also there in the same platform, in the same forum. My invitation to all of you are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, so one thing that I'm hearing, and I'm sure all of you are hearing, is don't worry about any barriers. And for entrepreneurs, there is no barriers. If you want to go forward and do something, just go and do it. You can scale any heights. All right. So next we go to my friend Pradeepan from Toronto.
Thank you. Anevarukkum vanakkam. First of all, I would like to say my thank you to Venki and Mahendran and Vinod for inviting me to be part of this panel. First, when Venki asked me to be, and I was pretty scared because you guys have done much better than what we've been doing, and then I agreed to come and share a few words, what we do and things like that. So as Venki mentioned, Tamor Group is we represent a few line of businesses, but mostly we are into the money remittance business. So what we do basically, we have a smartphone. You pull out your phone and you sign up, and within 5 minutes we'll make your money to be in a bank account in a foreign countries, for example in India. So we started this business as a brick and mortars about 10 years ago, and then just last 5 years we started to developing an app and back-end systems. So now we represent pretty much the Canadian markets from east to west. So what really motivated us to be in this business, because we wanted to connect families using the money, because that's the major part of the how the global operates. So initially we started to corridors in Sri Lanka and India, and then now we expanded to about 44 countries. Our vision is we wanted to expand the service into other countries, particularly in the United States as well as UK. That's our future vision. But in terms of what we can do for the global entrepreneurs, that we can be a first customers depending wherever you are, and so we are doing great things, and we are growing on a month-to-month basis. So if there's any questions, you can always ask. As a time consideration, I will finish here.
Thanks, Pradeepan. So now we are coming to Dr. Rajan Natarajan.
Anevarukkum vanakkam. First of all, Very pleased to be part of this panel. A very distinguished panelists are here. I'm very happy to be here. Plus, with the very amazing moderator. Thank you, Fetna. Thank you so much for really made my participation possible today. Before I talk about my journey in entrepreneurship, let me come to the topic directly. How Tamil entrepreneurs are successful across the globe. Yes. In this topic. Then I can talk about, I don't want to talk a lot about me, I can talk about my own journey. In fact, Tamil entrepreneurs, why they are successful across the globe, Singapore, India, women entrepreneurs, Canada, and Malaysia, and the rest of the world. Yeah, we are most intellectual, talented human capital, number one. And we always think outside of the boundaries. That is the gene that Tamil people have. That's the number one. Number two, we are very hard working. Job first, life next. My wife says something different. Job first, wife next. So that's the way, we're hard working. I think Madam Sumati was talking about 24/7, hard working necessary. That's why we are successful. The third point is, our community success is driven by competition and comparison. We always compete with the friends, brothers, family members, neighbors. That is our nature. And also comparison. It is in our gene. We want to really compare how other guys are doing, how neighbors are doing. The fourth one is the social pressure that question. When you are leaving motherland, Tamil Nadu, India, going abroad, you have certain social pressure, family pressure. Under that pressure, you want to do something different than what our brothers are doing. And also some family commitment, family work. The fifth one is the cultural fabrics. There no other community, you can really explain how, Malaysia, China, no other community has this kind of cultural fabrics like the Tamil Indian has. Cultural value, supporting, even if you fail, there's a neighbor or brothers are going to support you. That's why we are 60%, the highest entrepreneurs are in India, particularly Tamil people have 60% are entrepreneurs. And 28% are very successful entrepreneurs. But everyone has the aspiration of being an entrepreneur. So the sixth one is, I can tell you, the most important aspect, that we have command of language. Not many people coming from different countries, that English language. That is the great, great asset we have. And also, we maintain the high professionalism, mannerism, wherever we go. People love Indians wherever we go to any country. So these are the factors, definitely, for our success. I just want to directly address this point. Coming to my own journey, entrepreneur's journey. Like Madam Sumati said, when you see a problem, you find a solution, that is an innovator. When you take the solution into the marketplace, that is an entrepreneur. So whenever you see a problem, there is a solution, there is entrepreneurship. That's the way how I came to this country in 1989 with your big dream. I don't know what is American dream at that time. Because when I finished my PhD in biotechnology, in molecular genetics, during that time, a lot of starvation in India, no water for cultivation, including for thinking. I thought, let's go to America, come up with a couple of crops, like paddy field, paddy, or maize, sorghum, millet. How you can grow this plant using seawater. Because seawater, you can everywhere. That was my dream. I came to this country. Of course, that shifted to microbial genetics. I ended up innovating a couple of new technologies, commercialized to General Electric and other one is Monsanto. Then I want to use my science into marketplace business. I shifted my career into business. Then I saw the huge success, the impact of IT industry, how we can take IT into the pharmaceutical sector, because drug discovery is very expensive. Still producing drug to a marketplace of $1 billion cost for American biotechnology industry. In 7 years, how we can take the IT tool, come up with a new drug within 3.5 years or $500 million. Then I innovated a company and bioinformatics. Then in 2000, I realized the value of American public service and American politics. I got into, excited to Michigan governor's race. Jennifer Grant, one of the close friends, she ran for governor. I was involved. Then 2003, I shifted here when President Obama, I had a chance to meet with him, and Mayor, Baltimore Mayor, Mike O'Malley was mayor. Then I was involved as a co-chair for National Campaign for Obama. Then Governor O'Malley, as I said, appointed as the Deputy Secretary of State. So the public service is not for everybody. It means very hard to afford. So, hard working. I know there's a couple of public servants. City Subramanian is here, and Venki Subramanian. They're great public servants. How can they work hard? And out of 22 CEOs in Maryland, 2 CEOs from Tamil Americans. Let's give a big round of applause. After the term is over, Governor O'Malley, he appointed me. Now he should be part of his, Latin American party. So I'm the Commissioner of Transportation. This is one side of my life. I have also, small startup business. So I don't call myself as a scientist, or businessman, or politician. There is a unique term called visitics. It's a new term. So I want more visiticians, more scientists, more business people, more entrepreneurs. So that is my journey. Thank you.
5 entrepreneurs of Tamil origin from 5 different countries. In future TEFCONs, we want to have more Tamil entrepreneurs coming out of more different countries that you saw that we are not even aware of. So I'm sure they are there. முன்னாள் பழனிசாமி சார் ஸ்பீச்சர் சொன்னாங்க, திரைக்கடல் ஓடியும் திறமையும் தேடு அப்படின்னு. தமிழ் மக்கள், they have gone outside their comfort zone into every corner of the world, and they have managed to start businesses and thrive. So these panelists here are a representation of that, and they've all been immensely successful in what they do, and we wanted to bring their experience and just present them on the stage today for all of you to watch and celebrate. So how are we doing on time? Do we have time for a couple of questions from the audience, or
3 minutes for the question?
3 minutes. Any questions?
So how TEFCON is promoting the new entrepreneurs, especially youth entrepreneurs? How TEFCON is helping?
So that was one of my questions for them, because TEFCON is a platform. TEFCON is a platform to bring everybody together, aspiring entrepreneurs and already people who've been there, done that, successful entrepreneurs, everybody coming into one room. Now it is for people who've been there and done that, who will have to be able to promote entrepreneurism and infuse that feeling in youngsters and aspiring entrepreneurs. So we will bring everybody together year after year, and we will what you take away from it is yours. Any thoughts on that question?
I think it helps networking, right? So when I have seen Dr. Raju, and I didn't know how to meet him because I didn't have any of the contact number, right? Now he's here, and I'm going to exchange my contact information. Hopefully he will talk to me, things like that. I think this type of forum, it's a big thing on networking. Otherwise, we don't have a chance to go and meet everybody. And also that networking will lead into some kind of conversation, and that conversation will lead into some kind of partnership, and that partnership will lead into some kind of economic benefits to each other. So it's always great, once in a year that we meet if we can, and just have that conversation.
Yeah, sure.
I think I would like to thank Mahindran for making this effort, because what we will be doing, and that's also the reason why we are here later in the afternoon, we'll be speaking more, my specialization in relationship alignment. We can meet all we want, but nothing's going to happen. We can meet every month or every week, nothing's going to happen. What needs to be done is alignment. Alignment in your personal dreams. And the only reason when you get aligned, you get to connect at a deeper level. So I think TEFCON we'll be very glad to work closely with TEFCON to seek further alignment for new entrepreneurs coming on board, especially when they are into global market. The video was my idea, because not only about us, it's actually about you, because it's about entrepreneurship, global entrepreneurs. Which country do you want to go, and how are you going to do it is the question. You've got to be a global entrepreneur. So we'll speak further later on, and I think I would love to address that in a deeper level later on. Yeah, thank you.
Any other? Yes. There's 3 questions.
Here?
Yeah.
First, I want to thank you all for coming. a question primarily to the women at the forum, right? So typically, women are very held back. They don't take the risks of going forward. So what kind of family support or that you have, or to break out on your own, to break the mold?
See, being a woman itself is a boon. If you rightly tune the wife or the mother or the sister, the family support, more than the family support with that, the self-confidence which a woman will have on herself will be the criteria for her to become an entrepreneur. And how does she get that confidence is only by the support of the family members. By the way they are brought up, you see that they are equally tuned, equally brought up, equally educated, equally give freedom for their thoughts, then automatically when they come to that particular age of realization what they want in life, they will have more confidence, self-confidence in themselves, and also a moral support of the family is always behind them, no matter whether they do it successfully or fail miserably. The most important thing a woman feels is that if she fails miserably, then the whole world or the society will be pointing fingers at her, and being a sensitive women, they are not able to take up that point, the thought or the point is being, they point out that mistake to her, which she is not able to take down. If she is able to come out saying that loss or profit is the same for a guy or for a woman, and just chasing your dreams back is what is needed for an entrepreneur, then every woman will come out of her homes and become an entrepreneur, just admired and adored by the society.
So, later.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment to Bala's question, and as well as the great panelists. I'm really excited to have people from 5 different countries. I think we should build an ecosystem within the US. There's a tremendous opportunities. I always tell Dr. Rajan that Tamil community is the most talented but least connected. Yes. So how do we bring all together and really connect with and encourage youth and women and aspiring entrepreneurs?
And moreover, the unity is lacking, is right, because I'm a part of the many organizations, which Rajan knows, Lena knows it, but unity is lacking. We are not working together.
Mr. Moderator, I'm sorry, there are 2 young ladies who want to speak up, and I think there is lots of side talk going on board. I think we need to give them an opportunity.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
All right, yeah, there was another question from the ladies here.
My question is for Dr. Natarajan. So actually, as a minority being involved in public service, were there any kind of barriers or difficulties, and how did you address them? Because we don't really have a lot of public servants of Tamil origin, so we don't really have that knowledge, so that's what I wanted to ask.
100%. Yeah, yes. There are a lot of roadblocks and challenges when you serve in public service. But recent days, recent years, Indian Americans are highly respected and highly demanded because of our intellectuality and sincerity and honesty. If you try, definitely we can make impact. Of course, they expect a lot from us in the mainstream society. And we are capable, we can do, we can deliver.
My question is about persuasion, because you said, I think one of you said that entrepreneurship is making your solution public. So I've heard that, power is perception and perception is power. So when you have a solution, but you're trying to persuade people that you can deliver the solution to society, what do you do personally to persuade people to trust you, to trust in your ability to deliver the solution?
Question 4?
For anyone?
Anyone? Okay.
The question is about persuasion. It's how do you persuade people and promote yourself in society as a Tamil person? Especially as a woman in Tamil society, I feel that we're taught to be very humble and not to talk too much about ourselves. But in entrepreneurship, you have to promote yourself and you have to persuade people to trust you and your ability. So how do you go about that? Promoting yourself and persuading people?
The first notion of yours saying that Tamil women are brought up humble, and that is one of the minus points for the entrepreneurs, if I get it right from what you told now. Let me tell you, humbleness is the biggest plus point which a Tamil woman has got universally and globally. Persuasion is business and becoming entrepreneur. Don't mix your character and your career. Character of being humble is always your plus point where you're able to stand up. Today you saw so many people speaking here on this forum itself. What have they achieved and how simple and humble they are. So humbleness has nothing to do with the entrepreneurship leadership. And being an entrepreneur is supposed to be persuasive only. You have to be persuasive and you also have to be very, very motivated within yourself first before expecting motivation from others. The biggest thing, again I repeat it, for an entrepreneur is don't expect anybody to motivate you. They will only be there to assist you and only yourself can motivate yourself, and the brickbats are not from others, it's from yourself within you. And if you're able to overcome that particular aspect, then you are an entrepreneur throughout life. Because entrepreneurship is a challenge day in and day out, which we enter and which we come out. Only thing, take it in a superficial layer, don't allow it to go within you, and thereby you really rock the world being an entrepreneur. And especially being a Tamil women entrepreneur.
Thank you. Humility, like you said, is definitely a good thing. I just mean talking about yourself, talking about your achievements, and selling yourself is a skill that we are not often doing all the time. So, being humble but also feeling comfortable talking about yourself and your ability is what I was asking about.
Okay, I feel that the moment you are on a mission-driven, purpose-driven journey, it becomes a part of you. That means it's no longer about you, really. And in order for your message to reach the world, you have to be loud. I mean, the leverage is about getting the maximum reach out there. So in order for us to get maximum reach, when we are purpose-driven, you just go out there and just be at it. So when the moment you recognize your purpose, all that doubts, all that questions about our ego self has, all these, like I'm not good enough, blah, blah, all of that, it just takes a back seat. Yeah.
On that note, that would be the last question. Thank you everybody. Samudayam, abhida Tamil oru vaarthai irukku. This is what they've been speaking about. I know a lot of you know the meaning of Samudayam. Sama, Adayam, equal opportunity for everybody. Sama, Udayam, the same sunrise for everybody. What you make out of the day is in your hands. So on that note, thank you so much, panelists, for coming and sharing your thoughts. And thank you all for being attentive. And any opinions, anything you'd like to give, inimiya sollana, coaching solla vendiya avasiyam illa. Nandri vanakkam. All right, so this memento is for Dr. Aziza Jalaluddin. So please be asked.
Pradipan Yoganathan. Thank you everyone, and let's ready? 1, 2, 3, one more. 1, 2, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we break for lunch and we regroup for the next session right after lunch. It's only a 30-minute lunch break.
Please come down after 30 minutes.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இங்கிலீஷ் பேச தமிழ் பேச முடியல.
Anybody cannot understand the Tamil.
அவ்வளவு மோசமா இருக்கு. Oh, okay, good.
So the
Let me introduce myself. Yes, that's a valid point. Yes, I am Subramanian Munyasamy, CTO for Department of Health and Human Services, Maryland. Right now, I am leading a very big historical project for the state of Maryland. And this is the first time we are building a big shared data repository for the entire Maryland citizens who is receiving any benefit from Maryland. And also we are building a big cloud platform which can be shared across other agencies as well as, it's kind of like a shared platform for that. This is, right now it's estimated to be a $200 million project. In addition to my day-to-day responsibility of other operational activities, which is like over $150 million, so I'm responsible for this. I took this position like very recently, like 4 months back. Prior to that, I was a CAO for another agency, and my successor is here too, Venkat Koshna. Now this is a very groundbreaking technology platform we are building to meet the need of Maryland citizens. This is a vision of one of our person from India. His name is Sam Malhotra, and he is Chief of Staff for the Governor right now. And Governor and the Chief of Staff, Sam Malhotra, put together this plan, and I'm just a commander or executor of that plan. So that is how it has been done. Mostly all the health and human services programs such as the Medicaid, long-term care. I could see somebody has some good website. I was looking at it, Pandu, sorry. Long-term care, time of food stamps, child welfare, child support. There are a lot of welfare programs is going to be a part of this modernization effort. One thing I want to see, I have been in this field since I landed in America from 1996, August 21st. In this entire career, a lot of people are thinking anytime there is a healthcare is all about maintaining the medical record or any of the claims processing, supporting some equipment, all those things. But there is a very huge opportunity sitting in the front end of the healthcare record and all the back-end pieces, whatever everybody is focusing on it. So that is called eligibility and the exchange. So right now as a phase one, what we are doing is, we are going to collect all the data from all the citizens whoever is becoming eligible for applying for any benefit provided by the government. That includes the Medicaid, TANF is a temporary aid for the needy families. It's a cash assistance. There are some very specific eligibility set of rules. This is a really very big business because every state, all 50 states in the nation has to support this. Right now, only the big players, very big players like the top big fives, those are the companies in this market for a long period. But now, the things are slightly changing. The traditional method of implementing a project is not going to work because of the fact a lot of failed projects and a lot of problems whatever the state is implementing, which is unknown. For example, this Obamacare is one of the projects has been implemented by CJ Federal and other companies, but there is a big flaw because of the fact this is one of the new implementation. Everybody was noticing it. But similar to that, there is a lot of programs are failing, which is not coming to the highlight as equal as this Obamacare programs. So now with this model, there's a huge opportunity because of all the entrepreneurs are here. I just want to connect what is lagging so that people can jump or join hands, come up with the idea and come up with any product which can help the entire 50 states. I have been in this field since 96, but I have not seen any one product which can support this entirety of this social service programs. Is anybody in this crowd knows what is the social programs I'm talking about? Okay, very good. I can talk anything now.
Medicare, Medicaid.
Yes. So fundamentally, this is a huge market. This is a government-supported program. For example, a lot of like a single parent with a child who cannot go to work, they can go to the government local district offices and apply for a benefit. which is a cash assistance, and similar to the food stamps, they can apply for food stamp, Medicaid, and underemployed or unemployed people can go and claim some of the Medicaid insurance, any of these benefits. So this is the type of welfare programs government is conducting since, I do not know, maybe like over 40 years, and this has been evolving in the last 4 years. This is the type of thing which is going on right now. For my purpose, I am looking for some kind of product in the market to support some of the child welfare programs. Child welfare program, especially, there is a abused child or abused parent, a child or adult who got abused, where they will go. Right now, there is no place to go. So those kind of people needs to be very clearly watched and protected and supported by the government to make sure they are growing like any other kid, and they are also able to live their life peacefully. So that is the goal of the child welfare program. This is a huge program, which, for example, Maryland has, there are 4,000 children falls under the bucket. You cannot imagine in the US, there are a lot of people who does not have any support. The kids. So that is the type of programs is there. So we are looking for some product which can help identify those people, or we will get a call, maybe the police or whatever the call, people will get into the field, and there is no technology right now or a product which can support, take a picture of the incident and load the document so that somebody can verify this person is a really abandoned child or somebody trying to misuse the system, whatever, and then do all this. Similar to that, this is one of the things. And eligibility and exchange is another piece. All those things together, we are trying to do it for the state of Maryland, which has like very siloed systems, but the backend, we are going to have a very integrated network so that any one person coming and trying to reapply for any benefit, if they already received any benefit during the course of their life once, they will be able to pre-populate or fill up and find out whether they are receiving benefit or not. Yes. So this is a kind of thing we are looking for, and I definitely urge some of the entrepreneurs here to really look into this area and see how we can come up with some kind of idea to build this product. So this is really going to be a huge market right now as well as in future, and it's going to be applicable for all the 50 states. All right. With that said, I will just stop it. And also one more thing, the project, whatever I am talking, is called MDT, Maryland Total Human Services Integrated Network. That's the name of this program. On March 9th, Governor Larry Hogan and Chief of Staff Sam Malhotra released a big press release. If anybody interested to know more about this program and the opportunities, please search on March 9th press release in the Google, you will be able to find out. With that, I'm just stopping it and giving back to the moderator.
So primarily, we'll come back to the question a little later. You know, the government has an initiative because of the shared economy or the gig economy. There's a lot of push for the legislative aspect, let's say whether it is for Uber, Lyft, or Airbnb. So the government is doing some digital matching of the firms who are involved in this one. So that's one of his primary initiatives, which of course he did share that to me earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Madhu talk about what are the factors which is leading and affecting the IT services. Let's hear from him. Thanks.
Okay. Morning. For someone who are new, I just came from a scientist background, then into IT services for the last 25 years. See, I think the way we heard in the morning, a lot of IT systems, whether it is hardware, storage, or programs, are digitized in a way that they're all simple systems. 15 or 20 years back, over seniors in the room, if you look at mainframes and other big technologies, many IT programs were long-running, large, relatively bigger budget initiatives. Come 2005 and after, many organizations like Microsoft, IBM, everyone, when they started making IT as components, most of these projects became smaller in nature. Then the change in IT is so fast because it is cheaper to make newer technologies, be it storage or be it samples and everything. Because of that, most of this programming is becoming a very short-term, simple exercise. In earlier world, if you design a program, they normally debug it, correct it, release it over 1 year, 2 years, you fix it. Today, I used to tell my team that you design, you deploy in a short period. If you don't like it, destroy it. Don't hold it. Design, deploy, destroy. Exactly the similar thing is happening with IT employers and IT employees. The world of IT will, I'm sorry to say, but it won't give you permanent jobs of a similar nature for long term. People used to be team leaders, programmers, managers, all those. But in this new world of very quick adaptive changes, agile-based programming, short-term release cycles, IT will follow an economy which is similar to gig economy, which is very, very temporary in nature. But your talent is important, don't take me wrong. There are so many changes happening quickly, you can't stay with one, either technology or a skill for a longer period of time. So as service providers, organizations, as well as buyers of services, you cannot have a long-term stability. In that sense, I believe IT will follow an economy like gig economy, which used to be for transportation, which used to be for agriculture, temporary workers, permanent workers. We used to classify it in many industries, oil and gas, energy, skill-based, which used to have these two economies. So 70s, 80s saw big economic change in manufacturing. After that, in India right now, agriculture is coming. IT for Indian landed immigration team, global talent management in US, please take it for granted. It is going to follow a certain principles of gig economy. Maybe it will follow a long-term job, but your type of work you do will be smaller, shorter, quicker.
All right, obviously, that leads to only people, because at the end of the day, any company can get jobs done only by their own employees or contractors or consultants or whatever it is. So, the government, I recently read, by 2020, 60% of the Americans will be doing gig economy right now. That's a prediction. Now, why it's going to be true, I really don't know. Since it's going to be people, sourcing is becoming an important issue, I thought maybe Prabha can show them light on that.
கொஞ்சம் ரிலாக்ஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்காக ஒரு சின்ன இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன். என் பேர் பிரபாகரன் முருகையா. என்னோட சொந்த ஊர் வந்து திருநெல்வேலி மாவட்டத்தில் இருக்கிற அம்பாசமுத்திரம் ஒரு கிராமம். இந்த ஃபேமிலிக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல், அதாவது எப்படி சொல்கிறது, ஒரு யூனிக். நாங்கள் 3 பேரும் ஒரே காலேஜ், ஒரே வருஷம். ஆனால் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஃபார்மில், இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸில் எல்லோரும் சேர்ந்து வரும்போது நிறைய விஷயங்கள் நம்ம கற்றுக்கலாம். இது ஒரு கஷ்டமான விஷயம். யூஎஸில் வந்து ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் பண்ணுறது வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப கஷ்டமான விஷயம். I think the TEFCON team put a lot of time and efforts to bring all of every one of us is too busy. நமக்கு வந்து ஒரு சினிமா பார்க்கறது கூட கிடையாது. எஸ்பெஷலி பிஸ்னஸ் ஓனர்ஸ் அண்ட் ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ் வந்து டைமே இருக்கிறது இல்லை. ஆனால் இப்போ இருக்கிற பிஸ்னஸ் மாடல் எல்லாமே வந்து இன்னொரு 5 இயர்ஸில் கம்ப்ளீட்டாக சேஞ்ச் ஆக போகுது. நிறைய பேர் நம்ம பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். அதில் ரொம்ப ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக வந்து ஜாப் மார்க்கெட் வந்து ரொம்ப சேஞ்ச் ஆக போகுது. ஏன் அது நான் சொல்கிறேன்னா வந்து ஐ ரன் அ கம்பெனி கால் TechFetch.com. லாஸ்ட் 10 இயர்ஸாக வந்து ஒரு ஜாப் போர்ட் ரன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஒரு 6000 கம்பெனிஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க யூஎஸில். We have about 2 million people using our system. We bring 200 to 300,000 jobs into our system. So we have the data points of US consulting and market, what is happening. Okay. இங்கே இருக்கிறதுல எத்தனை பேர் entrepreneurs கரண்டாக பிஸ்னஸ் ரன் பண்ணுறீங்க? How many of you still working? Okay. So இதில் வந்து இந்த ஒர்க் பண்ணுறவங்களில் 50% or maybe more, their job's not likely to be available in 3 to 5 years. என்ன நீங்க ஜாப் பண்ணிட்டீங்களோ அந்த ஜாப் இருக்காது. You have to change some other job. So ரெண்டு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்கு. Either you can do a early retirement in 50 or find a way to change the job. So ஏன் அது நடக்க போகுது அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயம். So கண்டிப்பா explore what is going to happen. Be more vigilant and how you can transform the skill set. இல்லைன்னா ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். ஏன் அது சொல்றேன்னா இப்போ எல்லாம் வந்து ஷேரிங் எக்கானமின்னு இருக்கும், ரைட்? ஊபர், ஏர்பிஎன்பி எல்லாம். அதுக்கப்புறமா வந்து now they become gig economy, எதுனாலும் பார்ட் டைம். So moving forward we are heading towards a different economy. It's called outcome based economy. In outcome based economy, it's 3 to 5 years down the line, not too far, but it's too soon. Outcome based economy, okay, இப்போ வந்து solar roof வந்து வீட்டுல கொடுப்பாங்க, you don't need to pay, we'll come and install the roof, you pay, over the period of 20 years, which will be less than your current bill, right? Electricity bill. So you don't pay anything, but at the same time, so that is called outcome based economy. எல்லாமே வந்து இங்க அப்படிதான் வரப்போகுது. That's going to change the whole system. ஏன்னா வந்து people are confident that they can produce a result. So if you are not able to quantify what you're going to produce, you're out of the equation. So inefficiency-ங்கிறது எங்கேயுமே இருக்காது. That is the new gig economy. Uberல ஏறி drive பண்ணி கொண்டு போய் விட்டா தான் காசு, right? You can rate the driver, and the driver can rate the passenger. It never happened before. யாரவன் ஹோட்டலுக்கு போய் தங்கிட்டு ஏர்பிஎன்பியில் போனா the host will rate you. Next time ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம் பண்ணா வீடு கிடைக்காது, ரூம் கிடைக்காது. That is called outcome based economy, experience. So we are heading towards a huge I would say change in economy. நம்ம அடுத்த ஜெனரேஷன், okay, நம்ம ஜெனரேஷன் ஒரு மாதிரி தப்பிச்சிரும், almost maybe another 10-15 years, then we will be happy to retire, something like that. Next generation, what we are predicting is they will work only 30 hours. நம்ம மாதிரி 40 hours work பண்ற தேவையில்லை. ஏன் 40 hours முன்னாடி கொடுத்தாங்கன்னு சொன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் வேலை கிடைக்கும். எல்லாராலும் 60 hours work பண்ண முடியும், 80 hours work பண்ண முடியும். ஆனா வந்து 40 hours நம்ம work பண்ணணும். ஏன்னா they want to create jobs for a lot of people. So next generation, they will have an opportunity to work only 30 hours. அதுலயும் 50% வந்து they will work for money making. Another 50% they will work for what they are passionate. So it's going to be a dramatically different experience, but they will have twice the quality of life that what we have. அவங்களுக்கு 60 to 70% of நம்மளோட income இருந்தா போதும். So these are a lot of data points ahead of time. So this creates a lot of opportunity for us. Our final statement கொடுத்துட்டு I'll let the moderator handle it. There may not be any new company. There may not be any new company that will come and create 100,000 jobs, especially tech jobs. But there will be 100,000 companies will create 10 to 20 jobs. And that 100,000 entrepreneurs, few of them are here, and more can come. So we are in the world-changing economy, and we are in the world-changing, social life, and it's a great opportunity. One final thought on that. You have flyers on the table. So Tirunelveliyila, I have started a tech pod called the Silicon Valley Tech Pod. And I specifically 10 years ago, when I started TechFetch, I started a company in Tirunelveli, not in Bangalore, not in Chennai. And we have 100 people supporting TechFetch. The whole TechFetch is completely built, managed from a small city in Tirunelveli, where we built a global company. So what I want to convey that is, as an entrepreneur, if you have a will, you can be successful from anywhere. So India, the jobs offshore get the opportunity from Tirunelveli, you can have in the US too. Thank you.
This is pretty tough to digest, because suddenly you say that jobs are not going to be around. It's going to take some time. So the best lessons learned over the period of all these shared economy or gig economy or whatever you want to call. How do we manage this? company, everyone is doing the agile-based work, or like you said, you'll be nimble. So if I have to plot 3, 4, I don't want to use a data point or something, but I'm saying some of the pointers, what we need to do is, these 4 or 5 things are going to be critical for anyone. Number one, everybody will be forced to be self-directed, self-motivated. Don't expect anyone to come and give you a prop-up, because you got to figure out what you want to do, what you want to do in the next 5 years, 10 years. He says the next generation will work for 30 hours. But if they don't have a plan in place, they will be stuck. So it's got some major economic, indices to impact how you run your life, even if in our own 10 years, 20 years. So definitely people will be very cognizant, they will be self-directed, they will plan well, they will figure out a way to deploy some of their existing assets, whether they want to run their car for Uber or share one of their bedrooms which is never used to Airbnb or whatever. So they will have to be self-directed. And that mindset will have to also lead you to have pretty much up-to-date your own toolkit. You got to know your area of specialization, your passion, and you have to be consistently upgrading yourself with current technologies and trends and tools, and you need to have a separate, dedicated set of toolkit. And then that will lead you to have multiple streams of income, that will give you more better financial security, and all those kind of stuff. So, like you said, don't look for a job. Yeah, I agree. You can't say that I'm looking for a job. Instead, what you say is, you're going to look for work. Right? When you say, I'm going to look for work, the first question, the so-called recipient of the service would be, what value are you bringing to it? It's not that 8 to 5 is going to matter. It's what's the value you're bringing to it. So that's another one to leave to you. So what I'll do is I'm going to let the panel talk for a minute about what opportunities this is going to give to any individual, and then I'll open it to the people for some questions and answers. Then I'll close it up with a couple of statements for you guys. Okay? You want to go with what are the new opportunities in your opinion? This is going to give to people.
I'll try to believe. If you believe anything you do today can be automated by machines, raise your hand, put somebody to do it. Don't continue to do that. Because if you don't automate things which can be rudimentarily done by someone else will do it. So my thinking is, anywhere you believe human intelligence can be applied without cheap automation, I think innovate there more and more. That's where you will have creative thinking, ideas and thoughts. Anywhere you can automate, stay away from it. So in your daily life, morning till evening before your bedtime, just look at, are you doing rudimentary things or are you doing anything new? If you have 60% of the time you're doing rudimentary repetitive tasks, just watch out.
As Prabha said, he is my senior and he is my junior. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so just to get into the point, there are two things, like we have to keep it very, very clear in the mind. One is, whatever the work you do, try to build your own unique brand. So for example, if a young person, when I give him some job, no matter what, he will complete. So that is his brand. This guy, if he says, come on time, he will be a few minutes earlier. Just whatever you do, you have to build your own brand. Unique brand. Don't try to copy anybody. If you are able to do that, the job is, the people are going to hunt for you. The way I always used to tell my people who is working for me, in case if you if you are out of the job or whatever reason, if I have to lose you, that is my loss. That is how I have to feel when you leave the job. The minute you feel you are not comfortable, you are putting all those things, I don't have any feeling, that means that minute you already lost the job. So building your unique brand is very, very important for your success. So really doesn't matter whatever it is. The second one is, whatever the job you do, you have to be really an expert in that. Generally, we have a tendency of touching like multiple things and not become master in any one. In future, that's not going to be the case. So for example, just before some time, I was talking to Lena Kanapan, saying like the security in the AWS, because we are the first one to get into AWS cloud for the entire state. So entire state is looking at me, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to really tighten up the security, and so that everybody else can follow it. So it's really a big challenges, a lot of questions people in their mind. We need to clean it up because the first person always going to jump is going to face all this problem. So whatever the job you do, please be very passionate and love it. The minute you cannot do that, you just find another job or another place where you really fit or totally in alignment with whatever the passion is. You have to get aligned. In the Tamil, ஒன்றை அறிந்தால் நீ ஒன்றை அறிந்தால் உலகத்தில் போராடலாம், வாழ்ந்தாலும் தாழ்ந்தாலும் தலைவனாந்தாலும் நீ வாழலாம். Although the self-realization is the big management topic in all the MBA classes are teaching. What they are trying to do is, what is your core strength where you can align with your life and excel. So that is my key point I want to put in the stage. Thank you.
Give 3 quick comments. Number 1, what is our asset? So நம்ம எல்லாருக்கிட்டையும் ஒரு திறமை இருக்கும். அதுலயும் 2-3 திறமை இருக்கும். அதுல ஒன்று வந்து ரொம்ப ஹைலைட்டாக இருக்கும். We have to identify that. நான் நிறைய entrepreneurs கிட்ட இப்போ இருக்கிற ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டியை பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் வந்து the domain knowledge. நமக்கு என்ன தெரியும்னா இப்போ இருக்கிற சிஸ்டத்தில் இருக்கிற ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் நல்லாவே தெரியும். இங்கே இவ்வளோ இன்னைக்கு காலையில் சிவா கூட சொன்னார் கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து க்ளவுடுக்கு போகிறதில்ல. இந்த மாதிரி வந்து lot of wastages already happening in many places which will give you an opportunity to build a solution. So இது வந்து next generation தெரியாது. So we have that opportunity, number 1. Number 2, today the current environment will help you to build $10-20 million business with the 10-20 people pretty reasonably in a good spread. பண்ணிடலாம். ரொம்ப கஷ்டம் இல்லை. $100 billion பண்ணணும். ஒரு $10-20 million business with a very simple, எந்த கம்பெனி வேணால் எடுத்துக்கோங்க, ஒரே ஒரு சிம்பிள் ப்ராப்ளம் தான் சால்வ் பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. Talk about Netflix, what they have solved is, they blockbuster வந்து fees வந்து நிறைய இருந்தது. You keep whatever the time you want. That is only single message, the problem they want to solve. Now they are a multi-billion dollar company. We don't need to build a multi-billion dollar company, but $10-20 million company with the 10-20 people, easy to build, very viable, without even a bigger infrastructure cost. That's number 2. Number 3, don't look for an opportunity. This is the time and era that we have an opportunity to create opportunity for us and others. Again, I'll repeat. This is the time we have to create opportunity for us and others. Jump on it and good luck.
Dedicate about 5 minutes for some questions. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on this. You've seen that in the 2000s, Walmart came in and then it took over a lot of small businesses out. And now it's looking like, big companies like Tesla and then Amazon are now expanding and taking over these guys. So in this kind of environment, the small businesses have always been, eaten up. So what encouragement are you going to give to us small business owners who are going to start?
See, actually what you saw Amazon consolidating into retail or anything is only at the balance sheet financial investment level. But if you look at, because of Amazon's distribution centers, how many small last mile delivery companies started up? In India, in US, last 4 years, just because of Amazon, the number of last mile delivery organizations started up is much higher than anybody. So, when consolidation happened in the industry, we always look at that because that gets the maximum visibility into our meeting. Because it's more of investors worried about investing in small companies. Investors won't make these big guys with cash rich. Amazon has cash bag of money. They can go and buy anybody. That's one organization. They'll invest in IT, everybody will launch. They'll invest in grocery, everybody launch. What happened? Sometimes you don't understand. So, but that does not stop any small scale industry. Amazon is the prime reason last mile delivery companies in US had the maximum investments in the last 5 years. So my answer to you is, these trends of consolidation does not stop entrepreneurs to come. It was true that 1985 to 2005, almost 15 to 20 years, large corporations has to divest and split into pieces to make the investments viable. Yes, after 2005, after the US economy collapsed in mortgages, Lehman Brothers going down, there was issues of consolidation, but now the market is booming, coming back up. So US organizations with extraordinary cash pile overseas are going to do these investments. They will buy companies, Microsoft, So I don't think, my view is, this consolidation is not stopping entrepreneurship, it's actually providing inputs for you. You have to align with these changes. That's my answer, It's a little different than...
How do we do the business with the government kind of thing?
Okay. Yeah. See, in government, there is some process. Somebody put together 30, 40 years back, or maybe beyond that. But still, that process has been done for a reason. So, government will open up some kind of opportunities very frequently. For example, if you are running some kind of mini consulting company, you want to do business with the government will give like every 3 years. I believe right now in Maryland, I can talk, the other states I do not know. In Maryland, every 3 years, they will open up the RFP so that you can respond to that with your capabilities and what kind of skill set, what type of value you can provide to the government. So we will evaluate that and we will provide you some kind of prime membership. That is just only for the books. Okay, your name has been added to the list. It doesn't mean that you will be getting a business. So in order to get the business, there's a separate RFP will be awarded to the list of people in that list. So you have to compete each other within that list. So as we are talking about the gig economy, whatever the economy is, this is going to be a really good competition has been developed within the team, so that the really efficient people who can deliver in a short period of time. Now we don't have the patience. Before, for any project, we ran in the governments like 1 year, 2 years. Now it's just like every 3 months we want to see a result. The maximum weightage can be 6 months. We're not beyond that. Even the federal also gives us money in a quarterly basis. Means we can draw down the money only in the quarter wise, and every quarter when we're drawing down the money from the federal government, we will show what we achieved. So that is the type of thing. So in order to get it, please keep your eyes open and look for the RFP. Every 3 years once we will release it, and it can be a prime vendor. After that, you have to show some kind of really value addition so that you can get the business and excel with that. So that is the process lies in the format. Good?
Thank you.
Thank you. 2 more questions.
Anyone? All right, so we are out of time right now. So thanks TEFCON for giving us the opportunity and present our thoughts to you guys. Pleasure meeting you all over here. 30 years ago, I came across one of the statements in one of the so-called training centers from corporate training. It said something like this: in security, there is death. In insecurity, there is life. Keep over this. Thanks.
Can we call up Mr. Isaac for your speech next? Isaac Aya is the founder and chairman of Achi Masala Group, and he's also a sponsor for Fetna event. He's a title sponsor for Fetna event. Thanks, Isaac Aya.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கத்தை தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறேன். ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருந்தது. அதாவது தமிழ் வாழ் மக்கள் அந்த பேரமைப்பு 30வது ஆண்டு விழாவை கொண்டாடுறதில்ல மற்ற மகிழ்ச்சியோடு கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 2000 பேருக்கு மேலே இருந்தது நான் பார்த்தேன். குட் கேதரிங். எல்லாத்துக்கும் மேலே காலையில் ஒரு ப்ரோக்ராமை வாட்ச் பண்ணேன். கண்ணையுடைய காவியம் சிலப்பதிகாரம். இந்த ஆர்கனைசேஷன் வந்து தமிழுக்கு எவ்வளோ முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுக்குறாங்க, அந்த கல்ச்சர் விட்டு போயிடக்கூடாதுங்கிறதுக்கு எவ்வளோ முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுக்குறாங்கிறத அது பார்க்கறதுலேயே தெரியுது. ஏன்னா தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ள பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு இவ்வளோ தமிழ் பேச தெரியுமாங்கிறது எனக்கே டவுட்டாக இருக்கு. ஆமாம், அவ்வளோக்கு ரொம்ப அற்புதமா அந்த டிராமாவை பண்ணாங்க. எங்க வந்தாலும் அந்த கலாச்சாரத்தை விட்டுறக்கூடாதுங்கிறதுல இந்த தமிழ் மக்களுக்கு இருக்கிற அந்த பாசத்துக்கும் அவங்களுடைய அந்த கரிசனைக்கும் நான் தலை வணங்குகிறேன். கிரேட் திங். இந்த போறதுக்கு என்ன எதுக்கு போட்டாங்க எனக்கு தெரியல. ஏன்னா நான் வந்து எஃப்எம்சிஜி பிசினஸ் மேன். இங்க வந்து எல்லாமே இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாமே ஐடி ஃபீல்டு உள்ளவங்க. இந்த இடத்துல எஃப்எம்சிஜி பிஸ்னஸ்க்காரங்க என்ன வேலை எனக்கு தெரியல. இருந்தாலும் வந்ததுக்கு என்னோட சக்சஸ் ஸ்டோரி வேணா நான் சொல்லிட்டு போறேன். வேற எனக்கு சொல்றதுக்கு தெரியல. ஏன்னா யூஆர் ஆல் கிரேட் பீப்புள் ஹியர். அதனால தான் அமெரிக்க தேசத்துக்கு வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு பெரிய காரியங்களை செய்யுங்க. ரியலி அதாவது அமெரிக்கன் பிரசிடென்ட் ஒரு வாட்டி சொல்லும் பொழுது, இந்தியா பற்றி சொல்லும் பொழுது, த இந்தியன் people they are helping the American administration அப்படின்னு சொல்லும் பொழுது அது வார்த்தையை சொல்லும்போது எனக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. எனக்கு சொல்ல போனால் எனக்கு கைகளில் அப்படி புல்லரிச்சு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா, அப்படி இருக்கு. ஏன்னா இட்ஸ் a great word from the president of India, president of America. அது பெரிய விஷயம். ஓகே, நான் என்னுடைய சக்சஸ் ஸ்டோரியை நான் சொல்லணும்னு ஆசைக்கிறேன் இந்த இடத்துல. I started my career in a private company, Godrej Soaps. சேல்ஸ் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்டில் ஜாயின் பண்ணி இருந்தேன். எனக்கும் ஐடிலாம் பண்ணணுன்ட்டு அப்போ ஆசை இருந்தது. பட் எனக்கு குவாலிஃபிகேஷன் அப்போ இல்லை. அதான் உண்மை. ஒருவேளை ஐடிலாம் முடிச்சிருந்தா உங்களை மாதிரிலாம் இங்கே வந்திருப்பேன். நான் அமெரிக்காவில் செட்டில் ஆகிருந்திருப்பேன். எனக்கு அந்த காலங்களில் I started my career with Godrej Soaps as salesperson. Then I was working for Godrej Soaps for almost 10 years. Then I, after had an experience, good experience with Godrej Soaps, that is a FMCG company. I found there is a huge opportunity in food sector. There is a huge opportunity in food sector. That is why all of a sudden I resigned my job. All of a sudden I resigned my job. I entered into food industry. The year 1995 we started our industry because I was so confident about the food industry, because those days, particularly in India, all the food products were sold unbranded and commodity. I want to create a brand, as he rightly said. I want to create a brand. Today I got almost 6 brands in my company. Our company is almost 1,200 crore company in India. It is just a 20 years journey. Just a 20 years journey. Because I know the real potential of the market, particularly food industry, converting all the unbranded into brand, as you rightly said, converting all the unbranded into brands. Initially, I went to the rural markets in Tamil Nadu with 10 rupees packets and 5 rupees product in food industry. Initially, of course, I had a little problem in marketing those products, but I had a passion. I love marketing. I love it. I am the first salesman in my company. I am the first salesman. The saying is very good. Actually, the leader, one who knows the way, he goes the way, he shows the way. And I am the first salesman of the company. I only went to the market. I launched my product. To my surprise, my product is accepted in the market. They, two, three people joined with me as salespeople. We created a big market in certain towns. Then I thought this is a huge opportunity for this product because we launched one Colombo chili powder. It's a master masala. With that masala you can prepare any curry. You can prepare chicken curry, you can prepare mutton curry, you can prepare fish curry or Colombo sambar, anything with a single masala. That is a big success. Seeing the success, I launched a lot of other masala, chicken masala, mutton masala like that, in that category. Almost about today we are having almost 75 variants of masalas. Because ours is the number one company in India today. Because we are catering to North Indian population, any community, our product will be used by the consumer. So that in such a way we are blended the product. Today we are doing almost 60% turnover comes from Tamil Nadu, rest of the turnover comes from North India and Central India. Like that, we know the taste of the other people who are living in different parts of India, and my product is available throughout India now. And the overseas market, almost 50 countries we are exporting our products to different parts of the globe. Product has been very well accepted. See, we have invested almost about 100 crores on new technology and new product development. Almost 100 crores on that. My vision is very simple. All along we are seeing multinationals. Only 5 minutes time? Only 5 minutes time?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I will then cut short.
5 more minutes. No, still 5 more minutes.
Still 5 more minutes?
Yes.
You have frightened me. See, our ideas, Achi group, instead. See, actually these multinationals, they are entering into India, you know. With Coke and Pepsi, now they are facing problem in India. The Coke factory is having a big problem in India. Product is not selling that much. My vision is very clear. I want to bring my all ethnic products to the globe. That is my aim. I have to teach the people of the globe to use our spices and masalas so that I can make a cheap product tasted by all the continent people in the world. That is my idea. And we are put up a lab for that to develop a lot of new products so that it will be easy to cook. It will be convenient to cook also. Why I am telling now? particularly the culture of our Indians, particularly Tamil people. இவங்களுக்கு நம்மள இவ்வளவு பேர் நீங்க இங்க வந்து உட்கார்ந்துருக்கிற காரணம் என்ன தெரியுமா? நம்ம சமையல நம்ம வீட்டுல பண்றதுனால தான். எங்கெல்ல வீட்டுல சமையல் இல்லையோ அங்க டைவர்ஸ் ஆயிடும். ஆமா சார், நான் சொல்ல தப்பா எடுத்துக்காதங்க. பிரச்சனை எங்கன்னா சாப்பாடுல தான் முதல்ல பிரச்சனை. ஆமா, ஒய்ஃபு ஒழுங்கா சமைச்சா என்ன சார் பிரச்சனை? ஓகே, இதுதான் இல்ல, லேடிஸ் தான் சமைக்கணுங்கிற அவசியம் இல்லை சார். If man is able to cook a good food, fine. We are prepared to help because we are giving you convenient food to cook. Fast, exactly. So we are doing lot of research on that. ஃபியூச்சர்ல உங்களுக்கு 2 நிமிஷத்துல 3 நிமிஷத்துல பிரியாணி பண்ணலாம். அந்த மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு ப்ராடக்ட் கொடுக்க முடியும் அந்த ஆட்சிகள். இந்த போறதுல I want to tell you, உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது ப்ராடக்ட் இந்தியாவில இருந்து டெவலப் பண்ணி அனுப்பணுமா சொல்லுங்க. எங்களுடைய வெப்சைட்ல போய் கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. We'll develop product for you. ஏன்னா அது நீங்க உட்கார்ந்து நல்லங்க சம்பாதிங்க. ஆமா, நல்ல சம்பாதிங்க. ஏன்னா நீங்க அங்க வரணும்னு நான் சொல்லல. நீங்க நல்ல சம்பாதிங்க. உங்களுக்கு ஃபுட் நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன், நீங்க கவலைப்படாத. ஸ்டிப்ல ஃபில் பண்ணி அனுப்பி விட்டுக்கிட்டு இருக்கேன். நீங்க அங்க இருந்து கரன்சி மட்டும் அனுப்பிக்கிட்டே இருக்கீங்க. ஏன்னா India is the one country we are good in spices. We are number 1 in spices. நம்ம டேஸ்ட் இந்த உலகத்துல எவ்வளவு உங்களை சார் நான் வந்து 3 நாள் ஆச்சு. ரொட்டி சாப்பிட்டு என் நாக்கெல்லாம் புண்ணாகி போச்சு. 3 நாளில என் நாக்கெல்லாம் புண்ணாச்சு. நீங்க உண்மையிலே மத்தியானம் கொடுத்த சாப்பாட்டை தான் செம்பா பேசுறேன். இதுக்கு 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய் கொடுத்தாலும் இந்த சாப்பாடு something amazing. Really, you have hosted so nicely. ரொம்ப அழகா இருந்தது. I am thankful to the forum people. நல்ல ஒரு ஆர்கனைசேஷனை நடத்திட்டு இருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. உண்மையிலே இங்க ஒரு ஃபோரம் நடக்குது, மேல ஒன்று நடக்குது. And a lot of gathering. Something amazing. ஒரு பெரிய காரியங்களை நீங்க செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கிறீங்க. வருங்காலத்துல இன்னும் நல்லா பண்ணுங்க. ஆனா ஒரே ஒரு விஷயத்தை மட்டும் நான் சொல்றேன். The caste and the religion, இது ரெண்டு பின்னாலே போயிடாதுங்க. எந்த இடத்துல இருந்தாலும் தமிழனாவே வாழுங்க. எந்த இடத்துல இருந்தாலும் தமிழனாவே வாழுங்க. Don't go beyond religion and caste. That will spoil your growth. கடவுளை வச்சுக்கிடுங்க. கடவுளை வேண்டாம்னு சொல்லல. கடவுளை மனசுல வச்சுக்கிடுங்க. மதத்துக்காகவும் ஜாதிக்காகவும் பின்னால போயிட்டு இந்த நாட்டுக்கு வந்திருக்கீங்க. Today you are all called as Tamil Indian American. Tamil Indian American. எவ்வளவு சந்தோஷமா இருக்குன்னா எனக்கு சொல்ல சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு சார். I am so proud of you people. அதனால உங்களுக்குள்ள எந்த டிஃபரன்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஒப்பீனியன் வேண்டாம். நல்ல சந்தோஷமா வாழுங்க. You enjoy. எல்லாருடைய அன்பா இருங்க. கடவுள் எல்லா மதத்திலையும் சொல்லி இருக்கிறது அன்பு மட்டும்தான். அன்பு மட்டும்தான். நீங்க நெய்பர்ட்ட அன்பா இருங்க, எல்லாருடைய அன்பா இருங்க. தட் இஸ் மோர் சார். அன்பு இருந்தா உங்ககிட்ட பீஸ் இருக்கும் சார். உங்ககிட்ட சந்தோஷம் இருக்கும் சார். உங்ககிட்ட சந்தோஷம் வந்தா உங்ககிட்ட பெரிய பிளஸிங் வந்துடும். அதனால எந்த போரமா இருக்கட்டும், இதுதான் விஷயம். அன்பு அன்பு. Really, God will bless you abundantly with love, happiness. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Go on. If you have any questions, you throw questions. I am prepared to answer. Okay.
Sir, organic side of the market.
ஆர்கானிக் ப்ராடக்ட்ல பெரிய லெவல்ல பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிறோம். உங்களுக்கு சீக்கிரமா ஆர்கானிக் ப்ராடக்ட் கொடுப்போம். என்ன உங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் காஸ்ட் அதிகமான பயந்துட்டு இருக்கிறேன். 100% grow அதிகமாயிரும். அதனால அதுக்குரிய டைம் வரும்பொழுது we launch it. We are working on that.
ஆச்சின்னு ஏன் பேர் வச்சீங்க?
ஆச்சி. அதாவது ஆட்சிங்கிறது உங்களுக்கு தெரியாமல எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். தெரியலனாலும் சொல்றேன். எங்க பக்கத்துல I hail from தமிழ்நாடு, திருநெல்வேலி. திருநெல்வேலியில எங்க பாட்டிமாவுக்கு எல்லாம் திருநெல்வேலியில பாட்டிமார்கள் எல்லாம் ஆட்சின்னு சொல்லுவோம். செட்டி நாட்டுக்கோட்டை ஏரியாவில் அடலசன்ட் லேடிஸ் எல்லாமே ஆட்சின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஆனா ஒரு விஷயம் சொல்றேங்க, ரெஸ்பெக்டபிள் லேடிஸ். ஆமா, அதுதான் ஆட்சி. ரெஸ்பெக்டபிள் லேடிஸ். And this ஆட்சி is derived from ஆட்சி to rule. எனக்கு ஒன்றும் பிரசிடென்ட் ஆஃப் இந்தியாவோ பிரசிடென்ட் ஆஃப் அமெரிக்காலாம் அசல்ல. எனக்கு அட்லீஸ்ட் கிச்சனை ரூல் பண்ணும். கிச்சனை ரூல் பண்ணணும் சார். அதுக்கு இந்த பேரை தவிர வேற பேரே கிடையாது. ஆமா, ஆட்சின்னு பேர் வச்சாதான் ரூல் பண்ண முடியும். I kept that. இன்னும் சொல்ல போனா this is a very colloquial word. சாப்பாடாச்சா, சாப்பாடாச்சு, வந்தாச்சு, போயாச்சு, இருந்தாச்சு, உட்கார்ந்தாச்சு. It is a very colloquial word. இதை விட ஒரு நல்ல பேர் கிடைக்குமா? இது ஓங்காரம் சார். ஓங்கார பாசிட்டிவ் வேர்ட். அதனாலதான் we are ruling the world with food.
When you started the business?
I started in 1995. I did all the researches, consumer study and all. I registered the brand first. In 1995, I registered the brand, but I launched the product by 1998.
The question is how you manage the supply chain and the distribution.
நல்ல கேள்வி. பட் யாரும் நிறைய பேருக்கு சொன்னா புரியாது. எனக்கு இருக்கலாம் ஐடி கைஸ் நோ. IT is different.
He's putting blame on you.
See, FMCG business, particularly Godrej soaps, it is a FMCG business distribution. The particular என்னன்னா நான் வந்து என்னோட தொழிலை சின்னதா பண்ணேன். Frankly speaking, 10 ரூம்ல தான் என்னோட பிசினஸ் ஆரம்பிச்சேன். ஒரு மாவு மிஷின்ல போட்டேன், அரைச்சேன், அந்த ப்ராடக்ட் சக்சஸ் பார்த்தேன், எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் பண்றேன். அப்புறம் சின்ன லெவல்ல இருந்து முதல்ல சின்ன பட்டம் போட்டேன், பெரிய பட்டம் போட்டேன். இந்த மாதிரி டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூஷன். இன்னைக்கு வந்து என்னுடைய 4000 தொழிலாளர்கள் இருக்காங்க. என்னுடைய ஃபேக்டரியில 4000 எம்ப்ளாய்ஸ். என்னோட பெருமையா சொல்ல வேண்டியது 110 பேர் ஹேண்டிகேப் பீப்புளுக்கு வேலை வாய்ப்பு கொடுக்குறோம். என்னுடைய ஃபேக்டரியில பாத்தீங்கன்னா நம்முடைய தமிழ்நாட்டில் அரக்கு இருக்கிற காரணத்தினால டாஸ்மாக் கிட்டத்தட்ட லேடிஸ் உடைய ஹஸ்பண்ட், அது பர்டிகுலர்லி இந்த லோயர் செக்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் பீப்புள்ல ஒரு 20 வயசுல தாலி இருக்கிறோம். இதுதான் நல்ல. நிறைய பேருடைய புருஷன் இருக்க மாட்டாங்க. பட் யாராவது என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நம்முடைய லேடிஸ் நிறைய பேருக்கு படிச்சிருக்க மாட்டாங்க. 4ஆம் கிளாஸ் 10ஆம் கிளாஸ் படிச்சிருப்பாங்க. அவங்களுக்கு பஸ் வச்சு அவளை எல்லாம் நம்ம ஃபேக்டரி கொண்டு வந்து அவங்களுக்கு வேலை வாய்ப்பு கொடுக்குறோம். 1000 பேர் என்னுடைய ஃபேக்டரி. இதே நல்ல. I am so proud of that. Not money. I am concerned about the society. I am very happy about it. இது மட்டும் இல்ல சார், கிட்டத்தட்ட இந்த 20 ஆண்டுல 4000 முதலாளிகளை உருவாக்கி இருக்கேன். 4000 ஏஜென்ட்கள். They are all exclusive agents for Achi. Exclusive agents for Achi. தமிழ் இந்தியா மட்டும் 12 லட்சம் கடைகள்ல ப்ராடக்ட் கொடுக்கப்பட்டது. 12 லட்சம். ஓவர்சீஸ் மார்க்கெட்ல 1 கோடி மக்கள் எங்களுடைய பொருட்களை வாங்குறாங்க. I'm so proud of this. The distribution வந்து நமக்கு பேஷன் இருந்தா எல்லாம் பண்ணலாம்.
இன்னைக்கு தமிழ்நாட்டில் வந்து ஒரு 15 லட்சம் மாணவர்கள் படிச்சு முடிச்சுட்டு வெளில வராங்க. ஆனால் அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு 15000 பேருக்கு கூட வேலை வாய்ப்பு உருவாக்கக்கூடிய இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸோ இல்லை வந்து ஒரு கட்டமைப்போ இன்னைக்கு இல்லை. ஸோ இப்போ இந்த நிலைமை கண்டினியூ ஆச்சுன்னா தமிழ்நாட்டுடைய எதிர்காலம் எப்படி இருக்கும், ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஷிப் எப்படி இருக்கும், அவங்களுடைய மாணவர்களுடைய தேங்கி, ஏன்னா எல்லாருமே டாக்டர் ஆக போகிறாங்க, எல்லாரும் பிஹெச்டி ஆக போகிறாங்க, ஆனால் யாரும் வேலை இருக்க போகிறது. ஸோ இந்த சூழ்நிலை எப்படி பார்க்குறீங்க
சார்? ரெண்டு விஷயம் சார். அதாவது படித்த இளைஞன் வந்து சார் சொன்ன மாதிரி அவனுடைய சப்ஜெக்ட்ல ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்கணும். நீங்க சொல்ற பீப்புள்ட சப்ஜெக்ட்ல ஸ்ட்ராங் இல்லை. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் இது வந்து நம்முடைய கல்வி முறை வந்து தவறு.